Good afternoon, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you doing? And welcome to another episode of Chatterbox. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's doing fine. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys, on this Monday afternoon, guys. Absolutely great to have you on board, of course. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. And also don't forget to smash a like on the video if you guys can do that. Would help the video immensely. As soon as you come in, smash the like. That'd be absolutely fantastic, guys. Thank you, guys, for joining me, of course. Guys, now let's get straight into it. Of course, Manchester United and the fall off in regards to the match yesterday, the Manchester United 2, Everton 2. People would have thought it was a Champions League game, but it wasn't. It was actually a friendly game, and obviously there was a big breakdown of the fan base and stuff in regards to some of the performances. Some of the blame has been a bit wayward. We're blaming one thing. We're not really looking at the bigger picture. We're looking at one area of the pitch and concentrating on that area of the pitch and thinking that is what is the big problem. That's what's good. We fix that, everything's going to be great. We fix that, everything's going to be great. But obviously, the performance wasn't good. There was a number of performances within that football team that I am a little bit concerned about. And as I said, I don't trust any of these players. And this is how I will remain until they give me a reason to trust them, because they do it all the time. They do it all the time. They may have one good performance in them, i.e. the Bournemouth game, and then they'll do a performance like the Everton game. And, you know, this really reminded me of what was happening last season, certain games that we were playing last season, the way we were inconsistent in some games. And it was very, like, you know, typical Manchester United of recent times last night, I would say. And a lot of those players showed characteristics of last year. It's not so much as about a friendly. It's about they're doing the same things as they did last year, the same characteristics. Even if it's a friendly, I don't want to see any of those characteristics that we saw last season, of course, guys. Absolutely. Now, Bruno Fernandes has been talking. Bruno Fernandes has demanded Manchester United sign more players, guys. Manchester United need to sign more players. Of course, we know Man United need to sign more players. Bruno Fernandes is a bit disillusioned by Manchester United's lack of business in this transfer window. Of course, Manchester United have lost more players than they brought in this summer so far, guys. So obviously, it is true. Man United do need some players, but I want to bring this into the thing. If you're going to talk, if you're going to have your PR, if you're going to be the captain, you've got to fix your own game. You've got to fix your own game, because at the end of the day, it was Bruno's petulance yesterday when he's kicking out an Everton player, and he's, you know what, fighting in the middle of the pitch whilst Everton go and score, when he should be concentrating on getting that ball back, retrieving the ball, which he gave away, by the way, guys, which he gave away just like he gave away the ball in the Europa League final, guys. Very important moments that you need your captain to step up, and you need your captain to act professional. He didn't act professional yesterday. And when a player, any player, talks, make sure you've got your own game in order. He has not got his game in order, guys. I've been saying it for a very, very long time. He has not got his game in order. We can talk about the one-off goal here, the penalty here and stuff like that, but he has no one to talk about signings, because he's part of the issue, in my opinion. And you know what? I just feel like a lot of the things he's been doing recently over the last year or so, you know what, has been hampering us, not helping us. As I said, guys, you know what? Stats are stats. Stats are stats. You can stat pad all day. But the overriding thing about football is that it's not always about stats. It's about how you affect a football team overall. How is your, if you were removed from the football team, how would the team do without you? And at the moment, I just feel like the team would do better. As we said, guys, when you're thinking about stats, like I said earlier on today on Breaking Dawn, I said it as it like this, right? I said it like this. We could have played Teddy Sheringham, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Andy Cole, and Dwight York, right? Each one of them will have more better stats than Nicky Butt. But Nicky Butt would help with the balance, right? And that's what I'm talking about. It's not all about the stats and the goals and the penalties and things like that. It is actually about a lot more. Now, Bruno's absolutely right. Man United do need signings. Man United need to get a step on. Man United need to move a lot quicker. But he needs to fix his own game as well, because there were some balls in that game that went wayward, went out of touch, and he's not the only one. But I'm talking about the captain here. This is the captain of Manchester United at the end of the day. He's the captain. He's the captain of the ship. He's the one that we turn to when we're in troubles. Roy Keane against Juventus in 1999, getting us back into the game, 2-1. That is a captain. That's what captains do. That is their job. I just don't think he is a captain, in my opinion. He doesn't act like a captain and doesn't perform a lot of the time like a captain, in my opinion. And I think a lot of people back him because, you know what? He's got stats, he's got a few goals, he's got a few penalties, and people back him because of that. And I think that shouldn't be the case. I think you should call things as they are, in my opinion. Guys, thank you so much for joining. I hope everyone is doing good. Thank you so much, everyone, of course. Stream, big up everyone. Big up John O'Connor. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Let's hope we sign Sesko. Hopefully we get a bid very, very soon, guys. Bid will be coming in very, very soon, guys. But what Manchester United are waiting on, they're waiting on Sesko's decision. So they're waiting on Sesko to say something. They're waiting for Sesko to commit himself to Manchester United. We hope that happens, guys. If he commits himself to Manchester United, that basically deletes, nullifies any other team that goes in for him, because he's already chosen Manchester United, and we just need a clear run with RB Leipzig and try and organise a fee there. RB Leipzig are looking at 80 million euro straight fee, guys. So that is going to be a difficult deal to do in regards to the way Ineos do their business. It's going to be a little bit tricky in regards to the way they do their business, but we are confident. We hopefully will get the deal through the door. Of course, we had Omar Barada speaking yesterday about how they're working around the clock to get deals done, and hopefully they'll get some deals done to improve the squad. Let's hope so. AVF81, hope you're doing well, brother. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for the love and your generosity, my friend. Thank you so much, my guy. Really appreciate that. Big up, Grayo. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Not really convinced about last night's Spain to about Bruno's 100 cadet, so let's hope that the Blake in this ball. Their fingers are still in Blackpool. Big up, Irfan. Hope you're having a fabulous time, my friend. Hope you're having a good time. But then again, as I said there, Bruno needs to fix himself. Absolutely. Bruno needs to fix himself. Absolutely. Sesko is too young for Man United. Need Ollie in. Subjective, of course. Hi, Sal. Big up, Jacob the Walker. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Hope you're blessed. But Jacob. Who are you talking to, bruv? Who are you talking to? What's going on here? Who are you talking to? You're talking to Jamie, but where's Kenny? Where's Randy? They're not here, mate. What's going on? Guys, absolutely. Not here yet, anyway. Stop copying and pasting, Jacob. Come on, mate. Man United still needs 6 new players. I mean, at least, yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely. Stephen, if United go into the new season with no striker and Tin Heaton's goalkeeper, we're in trouble. I mean, I agree with that, Stephen. Look, at the end of the day, if we go into the season without a striker, we're going to have big problems, mate. You know, a big part of our problems over the last couple of years has been scoring goals. We ain't scoring goals, and this is the big issue with Manchester United at the moment, not scoring goals. And football's all about scoring goals at the end of the day, isn't it? You have to score goals to win games. Quite obviously, isn't it, Stephen? It is a little bit of a concern. But at this moment in time, when I'm looking at things, Stephen, and I'm looking at Heaton, and it's looking like Heaton's our best goalkeeper, mate. It's looking like Heaton's our best goalkeeper. I think Heaton should be starting at the moment. It's getting to that point, isn't it? Asking a 39-year-old to start for Manchester United, of course, is absolutely. Jamie, who gives a shit what he wants? There you go. Absolutely, Jamie. Big up, Jamie. Hope you're well. He cost us a goal yesterday. Fuck him. He cost us a goal in the Europa League final. I don't know what's going on with the delusionment in Manchester United at the moment. Look, I like Bruno. I think Bruno's a fabulous servant to Manchester United. He has been over the last 15 years. But boy, oh boy, you know what I mean? He is getting smoke blown up his backside far too much, guys. People back him far too much. That guy cost us a Europa League final, mate. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, giving the ball away. Yesterday, his petulance fighting with an Everton player after he gave away the ball and he kicked the Everton player, by the way. He's fighting with him. He should have been running, sprinting, busting the gut, trying to get that ball back. Regardless if it's a friendly or not, it doesn't really matter. You've got to fight for the team first and worry about your personal ego or your first personal vendetta against an Everton player. Get him afterwards. Make sure you make that tackle and make sure you stop the goal from going on. Irfan, Jim and the Glazers is still in a long time go. The transfer market, Man United is too slow in the transfer market. Man United are too slow in the transfer market, Irfan. Man United are very, very slow, and they're really, really taking a piss at the moment, in my personal opinion. I think that Manchester United need a lot more done, as evident yesterday. Mbeumo and Cunha look fantastic. They look fantastic, in my opinion. I think once they get a few games together, we're going to see a great partnership with those two players. But Man United need a striker, don't they? As I said this morning, it's not all about, this and that, this position, that position. Man United concern for me yesterday was that there was an obvious lack of a striker up front. There were many occasions in that game where if we had a proper recognised striker, they would have made that run and probably would have been clean through and scored a goal. Unfortunately, we didn't have a natural striker. You can't just put players, shoehorn players into position and expect them to be a natural striker. Cunha comes from deep. He likes to come from deep. He likes to bring that ball forward from the midfield and run forward with the ball as a number 10. He's not a striker. Neither is Mbeumo. And I think what Man United need to do is bring in a proper striker. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we get the Sesko deal very, very soon, of course. Big up, Danny B. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Really good to see you, of course. And big up, Tyborg. How you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well. Really good to see you. Big up, Tyborg, of course. Ciao. Barada told us Wilcox and his team are working 24 hours a day to make new signings. For goodness sake, what are they working on, mate? Ciao. What are they doing, mate? How big is their clock, by the way? Because they said they're working around the clock. Listen, my goodness me. Are they doing it in reverse? Really, really bad, isn't it? Big up, ciao. Davies asks, Sal, I was wrong about Donna and didn't do the eye test rather than only until I was like, I'm ready to take the big L. Listen, Davies asks, can I say something? Me and you, we have a lot of banter. I have a lot of banter with you, Davies says. We have a lot of laughs, and you know what? It is your opinion, and you're entitled to your opinion, my friend. This is how we do things on here. But yeah, look, listen, Donnarumma is a good goalkeeper. Man United, but what I would say to you, Davies is that I would accept a Senny Lamens. I would accept Emi Martinez apart from Onana. That's what I would do. There's loads of goalkeepers out there that I would accept, mate. Do you know what I mean? Apart from me, because I think he's a poor goalkeeper. Absolutely. Stephen, Ineos and Glazers out. Absolutely, Stephen. Big up, Stephen. Hope you're doing well. Really good to see you, mate. Our captain's fucking hypocrite, mate. He was terrible yesterday. He's an hypocrite and he throws his arms around. And what typified it for me? What typified it for me, mate, is that basically he kicked the ball at a touch, right? It was an easy pass from one end of the pitch to the other end of the pitch. It was clean. He was clean on the right hand side. I think it was Ahmed. He was clean, and he kicked the ball at the pitch. And then he's looking at Mbeumo, and he's looking at Mbeumo and pointing the finger to Mbeumo. You should be going that way. You should be going that way, mate. You need to pass your ball properly. Stop kicking the ball out into touch. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, no accountability, and that's what it is at the moment. Big up, Joe. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. We definitely need a new centre midfielder and a striker this summer. I hope so, Joe. I really hope so. But you know what I'm feeling in regards to the midfield is that it's not just the midfield that Man United need. Man United really need a goalkeeper. You saw buying there yesterday. He wasn't really convincing, was he? At the end of the day, I would say Man United need a goalkeeper, a striker, and a midfielder. If Man United managed to get those three, I'd be absolutely astonished. But we do need that. However, we do need that. I thought this was supposed to be a rebuild at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? This has no resemblance of any kind of rebuild I've ever witnessed in my life. This is one of the slowest rebuilds I've ever seen. And we're going on like we are, like basically champions. That's how we're going on at the moment. We're going on like we've already been there, done it. We're champions. Liverpool are going on like how we should be going on. Liverpool signing all those players. They're going on like they finished 15th last season when we did. Big up Tyborg, big up Kenny, big up everyone, of course, in the house, of course. Niche fan, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Mainly is a coach fielder, but unless we play him high up the pitch, we may as well sell him. It's a point, Niche, but I think he played it right yesterday, Niche, if I'm being totally honest with you. I think he controlled the game, didn't give the ball away, of course. And he's played in that number 10 position and hasn't really played well many times in that position. And obviously, it's not his natural position. His natural position, number 8. I think he played very well. The biggest problem, Niche, and I'll tell you right now, what is affecting the team. Let me tell you what's affecting the team. And it's affecting the whole team. When you play Dalot as a left wing back, it affects the whole side of the pitch. That whole side of the pitch is gone. When you play Dalot on that left side, it is a big issue. When you play Luke Shaw on the left side, it's a big issue. And that is what we're going on here. That is right. And then you've got Bruno, who's wasteful. So that whole left side of the pitch, is absolutely null and void. And that affects the midfield. So look at the Bournemouth game. Look how they played together. It was very good. You know what I mean? Because we had balance in the tie. There's no substitute to balance in football. I would say that. Gums, Bruno should have gone. He doesn't fit the system, unfortunately. Man, at the end of the day, I just feel like there's a couple of things in regards to Bruno that I want to bring in, which is very important, which I feel is that I feel like the captaincy. I feel like since he's got the captaincy, I remember a few years ago when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the manager and Harry Maguire was the captain, and everyone was screaming, "Make Bruno the captain! Make Bruno the captain!" But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to his credit, was very reluctant to give Bruno Fernandes the captaincy. And I was like, why isn't he giving him the captaincy? Why is he relying on Harry Maguire? What's going on there and stuff like that? Do you know what I mean? And here you are. Maybe he's not a captain. Maybe this is affecting his game. Maybe, because at the end of the day, I don't believe he's captain for Portugal, is it? I think it's Cristiano Ronaldo is the captain for Portugal. So when you're thinking about Bruno Fernandes and you're thinking about, he's quite successful for Portugal. They're quite successful. Won the Nations League, European Championships, of course. So when you think about it, you think, what is going on with Bruno Fernandes at Manchester United? My personal opinion, he's trying too hard. He's trying to do everything at once. He's rushing passes. He's panicking, in my opinion. He's blaming everyone on the pitch. He's just not got the authority. He's not calm enough to be a captain. He's not right, guys. Calm down. I know we're 1-0 down, but we need to keep going, guys. Come on, believe in yourselves. He's not that sort of captain at the end of the day. He's the sort of captain that, will blame you. Oh, you shouldn't have done that. In Mbumo, why are you going that way? You should have went that way. And that is what I saw yesterday. And that is not what a captain should be acting like, mate. It should be like, come on, grab him by the shirt. Come on, mate. I believe in you. You know what I mean? That is what a captain done. That's a Roy Keane. That's the sort of thing that Roy Keane would have done. When Roy Keane was at Manchester United, of course, Roy Keane would drag us from the depths, from the sewers, and bring us back into games, And that's what captains should do, in my opinion. I just don't believe in him as a captain. I really don't. And I think that has hampered his game a lot, of course. Hey, big up everyone. Neech again. Bruno needs to be quiet. He looks completely lost and over the place as usual. Absolute Neech. I agree, mate. Joe, De Ligt will be a fantastic captain for United. Absolutely, Joe. Look, he gives me the air of a captain. He really gives me Yapstam, sort of Nemanja Vidic vibes, doesn't he? Really, really good personality. He's got that grit about him. And I think that is what you need as a captain. A guy who brings you up. You don't have to be the most vocal. David Beckham wasn't the most vocal. You don't have to be the most vocal. Ryan Giggs wasn't the most vocal. At the end of the day, and they were captains. It is about your influence on the pitch, your influence on others. I think that De Ligt will be a fabulous captain. I also think that Licha Martinez will be a fabulous captain, but obviously Licha Martinez, with his injury record, is a problem. You need players to be playing the majority of the time, isn't it? But absolutely true, mate. Absolutely. There are some in that team who I think can have a run for the money. Big up, Mark. How you doing, fella? Hope you're doing good. Good afternoon. Hope you're well. Like I said, I will repeat myself. If anyone don't hear me in the watch-along yesterday, Fernandes is an absolute liability. Jamie, if I speak like Jose Mourinho, like the great Jose Mourinho said, if I speak, I will be in trouble. I will be in trouble because at the end of the day, he has a fan base. He has a player FC thing going on, and people that they just refuse to see anything beyond Bruno Fernandes. All they do is throw these stats at us. Stats. That's all they do. Penalty this, penalty that. Stats. It's way beyond stats, guys. Man United need way beyond stats. Man United need a team. At the moment, the overriding problem at Manchester United is that we don't have a team. Now, a couple of things which will fix Manchester United, obviously fixing the striker department, the midfield department, and the goalkeeper department. I think those three areas there will fix Man United immensely. The problem with the midfield at the moment is that Bruno Fernandes is guaranteed that spot as the number 8 role, of course, as I was speaking about earlier on today, of course. And then obviously you have Mainu, Ugarte, Collier, Casemiro, Kone, for example, vying for one spot in the team. So would Ineos make that decision to fix the midfield, even though we need a guy who can carry that ball, bring the ball forward, take control of that midfield? Are they going to do it, considering we got that many midfielders in our team already, and one of them earns 370 grand a week in regards to Casemiro? Will they do that? Or will they just do the striker and goalkeeper for now and hopefully worry about the midfield later? I think it's wrong. I think what Man United need is everything. There's no preference for me. It is Man United needs signings. Man United need players. I agree with that with Bruno. I do agree with that. Man United need players. Man United need, a lot more players, to be honest with you. We're talking about 6 or 7 new players to completely change the dynamics of this team. Now, like I said, Licha Martinez probably won't be back until September. So my idea is this. Aiden Heaven starts every single game. Aiden Heaven should start every single game, right? He should start, De Ligt should start, and Euro should start. That's the back three. Nothing else will matter for me. That is the back three at the end of the day. Dorgu is a left back. Ahmad is a right wing back. We got that sorted there. Let's use that for now, okay? And if it doesn't go well, then we can think about tweaking it. But that is the back 5 right there. That is what the back 5 should be, in my opinion, if Man United are going to move forward. Mainu and Ugarte in that midfield. Those two should be in midfield. Mbumo and Cunha in the number 10s. And obviously a Sesko up front. And that's what it is. You cannot shoehorn players into teams, right? You cannot shoehorn Bruno into the number 8 position when he's not a number 8. Because in the Premier League, you will get found out. And yesterday, to be honest, we got found out. A lot of the players there got found out again, like we've seen over and over again over the last few years, of course. Bruno should not be guaranteed a place in the spot, as with Luke Shaw, should not be guaranteed a place in the spot. Mason Mount is none and void for me. He scored a good goal yesterday, but I think his overall impact on the team is not aggressive enough. I don't think he's aggressive enough as a player. You know, and I think that Man United need more players like an Mbeumo, like a Cunha, these type of players, the players that Manchester United need, these players that put their all in. They support the football club. They want the football club to do well. Do you know what I mean? I honestly think when you're playing Cunha or Mbeumo up front, you're really taking away from their game. You know, we fought tooth and nail to get them in the summer, especially Mbeumo, not to play him up front and put them in the wrong position, guys. Absolutely not. Man United need to play Mbeumo and Cunha as the number 10s, Sesko as the number 9, and then we work everything out from there, guys. Absolutely. And that is basically the gist of it in regards to the team that I feel like I would pick, of course, guys. Let me know what you think. What is Sesko also waiting on United's business, man? I mean, deadlock. I do believe that is us that Man United have spoken to Sesko's entourage in regards to him announcing that he wants to come to Manchester United. Obviously, that's a very difficult thing to do. It's also a very risky thing to do if, you know, because other teams could come in and steal a march on the player and et cetera, et cetera. So Man United feel pretty confident that Sesko has chosen Manchester United. They feel confident that they can get Sesko to speak in regards to saying that I want Manchester United, just like Mbeumo said he only wants Manchester United. You know, you remember that, you know, and it went on and on and on. And, you know, there was a lot of media stories back then as well with Mbeumo's going to Spurs because Thomas Frank is going to Spurs, etc. You remember that? You know, Mbeumo's going to Spurs because Thomas Frank's going to Spurs. And then obviously Mbeumo said eventually he only wants Manchester United. And I think this is what they're trying to do with Sesko. The big problem is that you can attract Sesko, you can agree a deal with Sesko, agree personal terms with Sesko. But whilst you're not agreed with terms with RB Leipzig, you're going to be, you know what I mean, you're not going to get the player. You know, and as we know in Manchester United, how we are with finances, we're going to go into that deal and try and penny pinch, try and give an installment plan, basically, and give money every year rather than paying it up front. It does look likely that RB Leipzig won a huge chunk of the money up front, but can Man United give the money up front? It depends, doesn't it? Man United have not sold anyone, really. We haven't brought anyone in. Obviously, we save some money on wages in regards to Marcus Rashford, which is a good thing. But other than that, we haven't really sold anyone. And Man United need to start selling some players. Anthony, Garnacho, Sancho need to all be out the door because we're taking too much time with these players. We need to get these players out the door so Man United can get some money in and we can start bringing players in, of course, guys. Now, I'm on the personal belief that they have money. They just don't want to spend any money. That's my personal belief. But anyway, that I don't want to get into that because I've heard big rumors about they've got a lot of money, which they don't want to spend, unfortunately. But let's think about it how they think about it. We have to get rid of Garnacho. We have to get rid of Anthony. We have to get rid of Sancho. And if we get rid of one of those players and we get some money in, of course, Man United could afford Sesko and the price that they want, of course, guys, absolutely. Little bit of news, of course, Chiesa, who plays for Liverpool, looks likely to be signing for either Napoli or Roma, guys. Just if you wanted any news, a little bit of news away from Man United, there you are. There's a little snippet for you, guys, absolutely. George Best, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're blessed. Good to see you back, my friend. Good to see you. Big up, Jacob DeWalker. Hope you're well. Absolutely good to see you. Afternoon, Brian. Good to see you again, my friend. Really good to see you, of course. Anish, Sesko obviously isn't coming here. Apparently, the policy at Man United is we only want player who really wants to be here. He's obviously not committed to anyone else. Look, Anish, let me tell you this. He's a Man United fan. I say that right now. He's coming to Man United. Let me tell you that right now. I'm the guy who broke the Mbeumo thing, guys. I told you he's coming to Man United from way back. He's coming to Man United. It's a big chance that he comes to Man United. Just because he hasn't announced it yet, don't think that it's not going to happen, guys. Man United are getting their shit in order, and hopefully they get it in order pretty quickly. Absolutely. One thing I was worried about Sesko, if he decides to join us, do we have the right environment to develop him and become a great striker? There you go. And that is what it is, child. Then that is the problem that I'm talking about, isn't it? What have I been talking about for the last few months, years? Culture at the football club. The culture at the football club is not good. You know, players being handed contracts undeservedly, players running down their contracts, players feigning injury. You know, the whole culture at this football club is completely null and void. Like I said with Luke Shaw manipulating the physiotherapist. He was late for his physiotherapy, right? He was late for his physiotherapy and he bought the physiotherapist a bottle of champagne just to hush money. Hush champagne, should I say. You know, that is the culture at the football club. That is the problem at the football club. That, you know what, can pollute young players, can pollute new players. And this is the biggest worry that I have when new players come into the football club. But what can we do? We either sign them and hope, or we don't. But hopefully behind the scenes, we are trying to change the culture. Absolutely. Sesko's hardly chomping at a bit to sign for, and it's weird how he doesn't want either club. I mean, he hasn't said anything, Mark, at the end of the day. Look, this is all hearsay. I've heard different. Just because you haven't heard it, I've heard it, mate, from other thing, guys. I've heard it. Absolutely, guys. Priority should be midfielder. Absolutely not. The priority shouldn't be the midfielder. No, it shouldn't be LEC. Absolutely not. Who's Tom? Tom Heaton. Oh, yeah. Okay. Please, everyone, can you smash a like and subscribe? Thank you so much, Gray. You're a legend. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Absolutely. I'm not passing Jamie. I was on a couple of minutes ago. Kenny was here as well, but Randy, not yet. I mean, what are you doing, Jacob? Jacob, what are you doing, mate? Why are you predicting who's going to come on the show? Big up, Jacob, though. Big up, mate. Hope you're well. Big up, Sal. Do you think Amram will deliver given only this squad? I can't say he will, Ugmigi. I can't say he will. I don't think he will deliver with this squad. This squad has been proven many, many times to fail, to give up, the lack of mentality. I saw enough last season to suggest to me that team is just not good enough. No matter where you play them on the pitch, the players are just not good enough for me. There's a lot of players there. Dalot, Luke Shaw are not good enough for me. Absolutely. Bruno, I don't think he's that guy. As a captain, I don't think he's good enough. Casemiro's too slow. I think he's too slow. You know, I don't think he's good enough. And there's so many problems in this football team right now, you know, and the goalkeeper. It's probably, I mean, we got one of the worst goalkeepers in the league at the end there, haven't we? Absolutely. Yeah, it was the fighting with Ndeye, like literally, my goodness me, like fight Ndeye afterwards. And at the end of the day, Kenny, what I would say about that, he fouled Ndeye. He kicked Ndeye, right? And Ndeye reacted. Of course he's going to react, right? And then he gave it away. He gave away the ball in the first place. Bruno gave away the ball in the first place. What he should be concentrating on, rather than fighting a young kid, right? He should be going and getting that ball back, retrieving that ball and helping Manchester United. And we win the game 2-1. That's what should happen. And then go and do your little shenanigans with a kid. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely, Kenny. Good morning, Sal. Waiting for the decide Sesko. I mean, obviously, time is of an essence at the moment. Man United obviously are in for Sesko. We're very deep in negotiations with Sesko's entourage. Don't be surprised if you hear news about Sesko saying that he wants to go to only Manchester United very, very soon, guys. That is a real possibility that happens, guys. Don't talk at the moment. Don't say he's not going to do this. He's not going to do that. Why would he do this? Why would he do that? No player chomps at the bit to sign for Manchester United at the moment. Manchester United are in no position to have players that are chomping at the bit to join us at the end of the day. One thing we have to do, we have to look at Sesko, and the Sesko will look after his own interests, and that's what footballers do. And what I would say to you, however, is that Sesko is a Manchester United fan, his agent is a Man United fan, and he's working very close in tandem with Christopher Vavell. Christopher Vavell. Guys, as I said, Christopher Vavell is his guy, and I'm pretty sure that, you know what, this deal will go over the line eventually. One word defines Bruno: hypocrite. There you go, blame game and stuff like that. And then what I would say, Jamie, what does that say to other players on the pitch? How do other players feel when things like that happen? When you just kick the ball out of touch with an easy pass you could have made, and you're blaming someone else. What would the players think about that? You know what I mean? And that is where I lose my thing. Absolutely. Big up, Jacob. Chris, they say be patient, guys. It's August the 4th in 2 weeks. Yeah, okay. Big up, Chris. How you doing, my friend? No more patience, mate. There's no more patience. Patience went out the window a long, long time ago. Man United have got, 3 weeks until this window closes, Chris? 3 weeks, guys, until this window closes. If Man United don't get a striker, don't get a goalkeeper, don't get a midfielder, ultimately this window has been a fail, isn't it, at the end of the day? But we'll have to wait and see. Was horrible watching Ugarte. He wasn't the problem, though, mate. He made one mistake, and it was his mistake. Everyone makes mistakes at the end of the day, but he did well last game because the team were balanced. I would say call out Bruno, call out Shaw, call out these players who were absolutely awful. Call out the captain, call out them type of players, Don't call out Ugarte, because Ugarte had some of the best stats on the pitch, by the way, if you like stats. Good on you, Ephraim. Big up Ephraim, of course. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Nietzsche, I want to see us 7 back. My goodness, I think it's a bit late in the line, down the line for that, my friend Nietzsche. Absolutely. I mean, the prime one would be good, of course. The last prolific striker Man United had was RVP. I think, wasn't it Ibrahimovic and Cavani were pretty prolific in their careers. But in regards to for Manchester United, the most prolific obviously was Robin van Persie. It was the last real prolific striker for Manchester United, in my humblest of opinions. I think he was a brilliant signing, and that's exactly what it is. Someone who's proven to put the ball in the back of the net. Look, Man United, look, this is exactly what I'm talking about, why a striker is a priority. You don't think at that time, Kenny, you don't think at that particular time, Alex Ferguson had an aging midfield that he wouldn't want to buy a midfielder. No, he don't care. Look, at the end of the day, he thought striker is what we need. Get the ball to Robin van Persie, and Robin van Persie will pull it in the back of the net. Football's a simple game, really. We complicate it too much. Get a striker who could put the ball into the back of the net, and that's how I would say things. Absolutely. Ephraim. So how many weeks after left after the transfer window? 1st of September, my friend. So basically the 31st, is it 31 days in this month or 30? But the last day of August, midnight, I think 11 p.m. or midnight will be the last, days of the hours of the transfer window. So we're going to have to, we're fingers crossed, of course. Absolutely. Mark, as a captain, Keane would have hammered Garnacho, but not even these kids can do what they want these days. Absolutely. Under Captain Bruno. Exactly, Mark. Look, Garnacho, right, was under Bruno, right? Mainu is under Bruno. Rashford is under Bruno. Sancho is under Bruno. All these players have been under Bruno. Bruno has been the captain. What has Bruno done about those players? What has he done? Has he said anything to them on the pitch? Has he grabbed them by the collar like Manchester United used to do? And that Manchester United team were winners. They were winners. And you know what? Roy Keane used to grab them by the shirt, grab Schmeichel by the shirt. It's almost a punch-up, for goodness sake, back in the day. Nowadays, he's like throwing his arm there, throwing his arm there, throwing his arm there. It's basically, if you've got something to say, go up to the player and say it. Say it. You do this, you do that. Don't kick the ball out of touch and go to an easy target in Bumo, who's new in the team, and say, you should be making that run. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I wouldn't have to do that pass, which I kicked out of touch. Do you know what I mean? It drives me up the wall. Really does. Brian. Typical Bruno, when things go wrong, spits out his dummy. Blame game, isn't it, Brian? It's the blame game I don't like. Take accountability. That's what I'm talking about. Take accountability. Don't go up to other players and say that you did that, you did this. Guys, absolutely. So, guys, in regards to Sesko, there is a decision looming. There will be a decision. Of course, we have to be, obviously, keep our ear to the ground in regards to what's going on with that. That could happen anytime soon, guys. It is imminent. It is imminent. Some big news is going to be coming out, hopefully. This week, we'll have some big news coming out in regards to Sesko, which will basically decide where we go with this deal. Of course, it's a very difficult deal to do, of course. In regards to Ollie Watkins, I know there are some people who still want Ollie Watkins at the football club. The problem with Ollie Watkins is that Manchester United quite openly and publicly turned their back on Ollie Watkins and put all their eggs in the Sesko basket. Now, that can mean a number of things. Either we're absolutely naive and ignorant, and we just thought that we're going to get Sesko even though we haven't tried, or we believe we're going to get Sesko and something has already been agreed, because that is a huge risk to do that. When you put all your eggs in one basket, it basically saying to me, in my opinion, I don't think they're that stupid, really. It makes me believe that they already have something in principle with Sesko's people, in my opinion. I'm just saying that, guys. I'm just saying, because I don't think that they would turn their back on Ollie Watkins. I really don't. I don't see how they would do that. Big up, my friends. Big up, everyone, of course. I can slap you with a salmon. You're not in some sense of you're Donnarumma take. My goodness, all good. But mate, at the end of the day, look, you know this community. Can I say something about this community? It's really, really good ball knowledge, guys. We don't always agree, and it's not always about agreeing. But as long as we can come to some neutral agreement, at the end of the day, what I would say is that, you know, I would call things as they are. I don't sugarcoat things. Even if it's my favorite player, I wouldn't sugarcoat things. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, and I will call things as they are, and I'll criticize things as they are. There are a number of problems at Manchester United. It doesn't boil down to one position. It really doesn't. Like I said earlier on today, Manchester United could sign Adam Wharton and Carlos Baleba in that midfield. I don't think it's going to fix anything if you have Dalot, Bruno, Shaw in that team. I think it completely disrupts the whole vibe of the team. And especially in that formation, I think that you need players who are on it from the start. And we saw briefly in the first half how it can work. But obviously, what happened in the first half last night, is that every time we get it to the right, things look good. But when we try to get it to the left, things look bad, And it's like, it gets to Dalot and it's like, he'll start moving side to side like this. Where shall I pass it? Back to you, back to me, back to you, back to you. Hot potato syndrome. That is Man United. Hot potato FC. That is Manchester United at the end of the day. EC, the way that we're currently are, I expect us to miss out on Champions League for two. We need the players urgently, and the club isn't showing any desire. I feel for Ruben Amorim. A great comment, EC. I feel for Ruben Amorim as well. Ultimately, this is who I feel the most for, because at the end of the day, Ruben Amorim can only do so much, guys. He can only work with what he's got. He sees these players every day in training, and he only has what he has at the end of the day. People are saying, why is he playing Cunha up front last night? He shouldn't be playing Cunha up front. Well, maybe he's trying something different because he doesn't believe in Rasmus, because he hasn't got his striker in the door yet. So maybe he's trying something different in case, for example, let's for argument's sake, Sesko comes to Man United, Sesko gets injured, we already got Cunha, already got Mbeumo to play up front, and they've already played up there for Man United. Maybe he's trying things in that aspect, in my opinion. Hopefully, we'll see a much more solidified formation, a formation that will start the game against Arsenal when we play Fiorentina on the 9th, I think it is. And don't forget to join me for that game, guys. I am live. I see it as David De Gea's testimonial. I'm seeing it as David De Gea's testimonial. That's what I'm doing. Hopefully, he gets a fabulous atmosphere, of course. Tybo, United is big up Tybo. United traditionally slow in the market, but my biggest fear is that they actually think this team is good enough and already for the next season. Wouldn't surprise me if they said they are this. It's exactly, Tybo, what Barada said last night. Did you see the interview with Barada last night when Barada was saying, "Oh, we're very confident, we have a good feeling, blah blah blah." All these buzzwords and all that. I don't have a good feeling. I don't know what he's watching, because I don't have a good feeling, and I think a lot of Manchester United fans don't have a good feeling, because a lot of the times these players will let you down in the biggest of games, not just friendly games, the biggest of games. They let us down against a weak Tottenham team. So how are we going to trust them any time? Losing a European final to Tottenham. It's the most embarrassing moment in my Manchester United life since I've been supporting Man United was that. The saving grace, of course, we got Cunha, we got Mbeumo, but what else we got? As soon as those players come off the pitch, as we saw, which was evident yesterday, the team just goes all the way down. Man United need more. They need some more signings, absolutely. Brian, I agree with that. Dalot is another one. He should have been removed a long, long time ago. I always bring in the story about when Dalot was on loan at AC Milan, and I know someone who is very close to the AC Milan people, of course, and they were watching Dalot when he was on loan at AC Milan, and they spoke everything we've been saying. Lack of positional awareness, passion merchant, can't cross the ball, lack of pace, a bit of a coward when it comes to going forward. And this is what AC Milan fans were saying when Dalot was on loan at AC Milan. And this is what I was trying to say last season, and I'm saying it this season as well. That guy is not it. That guy, we need a lot more than that guy. Now, obviously, there's a lot of people starting to say now that Ruben Amorim only likes Portuguese players. And he's only playing the likes of Dalot because he's Portuguese. And that's what people are going to say. That's what they're going to say. When a player continues to underperform, they're going to start saying these things, And can you disagree with them? Can you deny it? You know what I mean? Absolutely. Manu is class. Man United have to play 4-3-3. One thing, no, I don't like the 4-3-3 too much, Irfan. Man United have played the 4-3-3 and failed as well, Irfan. We have to remember that as well. What I would like, Irfan, though, I would like a 4-2-3-1. So basically, you have the 4. No, not 5. You have 4. So it's a similar formation, but less of defensive side of things. So you have the 4, you have the 3, the 2 in midfield, which could be a double pivot. And then you have the 3 as attacking midfielders. And then you have the 1 up front. So basically, those 3 up front can act as wingers. You still have the number 10 in the middle, rather than 2 as behind the striker. And they split going onto the wings, and there's no one in the middle doing anything. There's all that little bit of space there. So what I would say is that do a 4-2-3-1 for me. That's what I would say. And try it at the end of the day, because it's similar to what he's doing already. It's not going to make a big difference. People are not going to criticize you for doing it. But one thing I would say is this, right? One thing I would say, the last game against Bournemouth, if you watch the game and analyze the game properly, Ruben Amorim was moving into a 4-3-3. He was moving into, look at the team, the way the team moved out. And that's where football IQ comes into it. It's not just about formation. It's about the football IQ. And a lot of these players don't have the football IQ, in my opinion. Jamie, too slow in the market again, left us short in the keepers. Absolutely, Jamie. Agree with you, brother. Agree with you. Sal, when Bruno is throwing his arms in a fit, affect the team and there's concentrate about the get. I mean, at the end of the day, think about it. Absolutely, Ephraim. Think about it. When you've, for example, if you make a mistake, right, and everyone can make mistakes. If you're throwing your arms about and this and that, you're going to be like, bloody hell, mate. Like, you know what I mean? If you're a new player and you got this guy who's the captain and coming up to you, what you doing? What you doing this? What you doing that? Do you know what I mean? And people are not going to like you. You're going to put people on edge. You're going to create anxiety. That's what's going to happen. That's what's happening with Bruno at the moment. People, like, he's just not an influential character. He's not inspiring for me. He does the odd good thing here and there, and in 5 games, you do the one thing there, the one thing there. But you know what? It's not just him. Obviously, Luke Shaw shouldn't be at this football club anymore. Bloody hell, why is he still at this football club? Obviously, the goalkeepers are rubbish. Obviously, we've got bloody Dalot, who's rubbish. There's a number of other problems in that football team as well. We can live with that with Bruno if we get the rest of the team good and set up properly in a balanced formation. And that's what I would say. Absolutely. Big up Ephraim, by the way. Good to see you again, of course. Brandon shouted at Mbeumo when he did nothing wrong. And what happened a few seconds before that, Jamie? What happened a few seconds before that? Bruno kicked the ball out of play when he wasn't meant to play. Well, he was supposed to kick it to the right to, I think it was Ahmad. And then the ball went out of play. It was a terrible pass. And then he's going to Mbeumo and saying, Mbeumo, you do. What you doing, mate? Shut up. Shut up, Bruno. Get on with it. And then obviously what made it worse, he done that thing with the Everton player. He gave the ball away to the Everton. And then obviously he kicked the Everton player. Obviously the Everton player is going to retaliate. What Bruno should have been doing is trying to retrieve that ball, getting the ball back and trying to stop a goal from happening. And we all know what happened there. What Bruno did in that moment confused Ahmed, confused Hayden Heaven. And that's why it became an own goal. It was his fault. Brian. Definitely when Harry was captain, we all call for Bruno to be captain. And when he stood in, he was okay. He was okay. It was okay. But obviously, one thing I would always say, Brian, is that we don't see things from behind the scenes. We're not in the training ground. We're not going to lunch with them, dinner with them. We don't know them personally. So looking back, I'm thinking maybe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knew. Maybe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knew that Bruno's not a captain. Maybe he knew that. Do you know what I mean? And that's why he was very reluctant to give him the captaincy and keep Maguire as the captain. You know? I wouldn't want Maguire as the captain. Obviously, I don't rate Maguire. I think Maguire costs a lot of calamity. I think he's a good bench option. Don't get me wrong, but I just think he costs too much calamity, too much problems. And I mean, I would love to get De Ligt as a captain or something like that. We do have future captains. We do have some young players in there who are going to be future captains, but at the moment, definitely not. Dabizas, my guy, they can press higher, but can't handle the press. I noticed if someone presses them high, including the Leeds game, they start making mistakes. Midfield is where games are won and lost. It's true, but also on the other flip side of it, Dabizas, if you have a really potent strike force, it works the other way. You can actually obliterate teams with your attack. And I think in Mbeumo, Cunha, and obviously Sesko would obliterate a lot of defenses. And I'm looking at the midfield, though, Dabizas. Mainu and Ugarte are not bad players. The best ball retrieving record in Europe was Ugarte. At PSG, it was Ugarte. He had the best ball recovery record. So at the end of the day, I wouldn't say that. I just feel like yesterday, mate, it went well against Bournemouth, but yesterday we had a bad balance. Dalot on the left, Shaw on the left side is centre back. And the goalkeeper. It was just a mess, in my opinion. Jacob, Son Min-hyum is leaving Tottenham. Yeah, absolutely. He's leaving Tottenham. I think he's going to Saudi Arabia. Absolutely. I like the 4-3-3, but Man United player cannot be Man United have to play 4-3-3. I don't like the 4-3-3. I think it's too narrow, in my opinion. I think Man United need a 4-2-3-1. More attacking. It's similar, but it's more attacking. Trust me. I think that's what we need. But we bought Ruben Amorim for this formation. Ruben Amorim is a specialist at the 3-4-2-1. That is his formation. We brought him in, and that is what we get. This is his formation. He's been very successful with it. Even in Champions League, he's been successful with it. It's up to these players to play it. If they don't have the IQ to play it, then this board need to understand that and remove these players from it and bring in the players that he needs to make this formation work. I've seen some things with this formation that I thought, wow. Yesterday, some of the play was very good. Some of the play was very bad. And obviously, the bad football was coming from the same culprits, wasn't it? Tyborg. The striker keeper situation must be resolved in this window. Absolutely. If we want to have any chance next season, without those deals, we would suffer again. I agree, Tyberg. How many times, isn't it? How many times were we sitting there during the watch-alongs last season and you know what? We were in the game and then we weren't in the game because of a mistake from Onana or something along those lines. And we go 1-0 down and we might as well all pack up and go home because our strike force is toothless. And that's the thing, you know, bad combination there, isn't it? Bad goalkeeper, bad striker. Very bad combination, you know, two very important parts of the pitch. And you know what? Every part of the pitch is important, in my opinion. Of course it is. Even the defense, when you're bringing the ball forward, you can't be bringing the ball forward out slowly, which I think Man United are doing at the moment. You know, but, you know, what I would say, yeah, if we don't get a striker and we don't get a goalkeeper, I think it's been a monumental failure. And you know what? I really, really do feel for Ruben Amorim. I really do feel for him because we need that guy. We need that striker and we need that goalkeeper. Definitely, 100%. Big up Tyborg, your legend. Big up my friend. Big up Amir. Hope you're doing well. Sick of hearing about stats, Sal. Me too, mate. Me too. Absolutely. Chelsea signed Ajax defender Hato for 37 million. James Badger. And guys, let's not forget, Tyler Dibbling is going to go. I think he's going to. Who's he going to? But he's going for 40 million. And Chelsea are trying to offer 30 million for Garnacho. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here. 30 million for Garnacho. Absolutely ridiculous. XP is killing the beautiful game of football. Now, I would like to see people look at Paul Scholes. Look at Andy Cole. Look at all the... No, not Andy Cole. He had great stats, by the way. But look at Paul Scholes. Look at Roy Keane. Look at their stats. They might not be as good as other players, but they had an impact on the team. They impacted the team overall. Do you know what I mean? It's not just about you scored this many and you assisted this many. It's about your overall impact on the team. You know, and people don't quite grasp this. They can't quite pull it in their head. They're like, you know, it's not just about goals and assists. I have this thrown at me all the time. Look how many goals and assists and this and da-da-da. Look how many goals he scored. Look how many assists he's got. Da-da-da. You know what I mean? It just drives me mad because at the end of the day, it's about your overall impact on the team. It doesn't matter if we came 15th. You know, if you got loads of stats. We don't care how many stats you got. I'd rather you have half the stats and Man United are up the league. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Man United player are not power to play in the EPL. It's a good point. Some of them are not strong enough. Luke Shaw out. I agree. Absolute Fan. Son Heung-min spent 10 years at Spurs. Massive achievement. Bloody hell. Where's his blood pressure machine? Goodness me. Absolutely. Sal, I think Amorim will start Casemiro and Bruno midfield. That worry me. I agree with that, Ephraim. And to be honest with you, that worries me as well. It does worry me as well, to be honest with you. But what can we do? What can we do? Exactly what I'm trying to point out. It's not that we don't need a midfielder. The problem is we have Casemiro, we have Mainu, we have Ugarte, we have Collier, we have Kone, we have Bruno. They are on astronomical amounts of wages. Ineos are not going to bring in another midfielder. We got all those midfielders vying for two positions. What Man United need is a proper midfielder. Of course they do. Carlos Baleba, jury's still out. Let's see how he does this season, guys. Jury's still out. We all remember what happened with Ferguson of Brighton, of course, who had one good season and then drifted away. Let's wait and see, guys. Obviously, he's worth a lot of money at the moment. I like Wharton. I think Wharton has proven himself over a number of years at Crystal Palace. Won an FA Cup at Crystal Palace. Adam Wharton is that guy. Trust me. For me. Brian, everyone should have to work for their places. Doesn't matter who you're. Absolutely. Especially what happened last season, Brian. What happened last season? Why should any of those teams be guaranteed, any of those players be guaranteed a spot in this team? What gives them the right to be guaranteed a spot in this team when they absolutely embarrassed us last season, mate? They embarrassed us last season. Ephraim, Sal, game winner and lost in the midfield in why competent owners do not know. Games are won and lost up front as well, Ephraim. They won and lost up front. As Alex Ferguson said as well, clean sheets win you titles, mate. He didn't talk about midfield, he talked about clean sheets. Clean sheets win you titles. Goals win you games. Absolutely. Two very important positions. We have no cover for Cunha and Ibuma, especially when we have 4 African players in that. Oh, my goodness me. Chow, you know what it's going to be? It's going to be an absolute worry, isn't it, when we got the African Nations Cup coming along, isn't it? I mean, what are we going to do? Ahmad out, Mbeumo out, Cunha out, Onana. That's not a bad thing, to be honest. Mazraoui out. What are we going to do, guys? Kone out. What's going on there? Yeah, Man United need a squad, guys. Absolutely. Big up, Sal. All I got for this game is that we are still Bruno FC. Stop him and we stop. Absolutely. Exactly. I think Bruno is easily to be stopped, though. That's the thing. And Bruno gives away the ball. I mean, I was watching the game against Bournemouth and look at that game. Watch that game closely. Look how many balls he gave away. and he booted out a touch. He done it yesterday, but he didn't get away with it this time. Absolutely. So if we sign a midfielder, who do you think we should sign at this time? Adam Wharton, mate. I'm sorry, but that's what I want. Balaba's the flavour of the month. Balaba's been good. All right, he's been good last season, but he's the flavour of the month. You know, he might. Let's see how he does this season. For me, it's Adam Wharton. Won the FA Cup, dominated that midfield. Adam Wharton, mate. Smash the like, subscribe, big up Ephraim. Thank you so much, mate. Big up. And Boomer will score against Arsenal. Come on, Jacob. Let's hope so, my friend. Let's hope so. Of course, let's hope so. And Boomer will score. Yeah, sorry. Got it. Reading so good, I read it twice. I hope that he announces it so Newcastle fans hear it. Absolutely be amazing, wouldn't it? Be lovely. And they're going to say, "Oh, we wanted Wisa anyway. We wanted Wisa anyway." They really do. They really are full of themselves, Newcastle. Are they a bit delusional or something? Have they not watched the last 100 years? Tyberg, Jim was ready to spend 4 billion on Chelsea. Absolutely. So nobody can tell me that suddenly he doesn't have money. He just doesn't want to spend because the Glazers are still in the majority. Absolutely, Tyberg. But what he did there, he prevented a full sale. He prevented a full sale of Manchester United. He prevented Man United having a full sale and debt cleared. So it's his responsibility. He took the responsibility. He took the responsibility away from the Glazers. So go and be responsible. Go and spend some money. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it was his choice to take the minority. It was his choice to get in the way of a full sale and Glazers out and debt cleared. So it's his responsibility, in my opinion. He slept with the Glazers. He's the reason we're in this position. So he should be out there spending that Where is that 4 billion left? 1 billion of... No, he was going to buy Chelsea for 5 billion, Daibo. 4 billion is left. 1 billion went to Man United, of course, which was part of the deal. 4 billion, where is that? I mean, if he truly loves Man United and he cares about Man United, born and bred, 77-year-old, and he doesn't just care about a regeneration project, he would put some of his billions into Manchester United, at least $1 billion into the team. At least getting rid of players, buying players, paying off contracts, he would have done that. At the moment, this window was the window for them. This window was the window that they had to show us, mate. They had to show us that we mean business. We care about Manchester United. We hope that Manchester United are successful. One of the biggest windows, I feel, in Manchester United's history. I really feel that this was. And they flopped so far. They've been rubbish so far. Do you know what I mean? In my opinion, no? It's disappointing. Really is. Big up Tyborg again, of course. So if we do not sign Sesko, where we go? I mean, at the end of the day, where can we go? My opinion, what we do, Ephraim, is that we go after Mateta. That's my opinion. I think Man United need to go after Mateta. If Man United don't get Sesko, go after Mateta. That's what I would say. Absolutely. Champagne Prosecco for Sesko. Champagne Prosecco, Sal for Sesko. Absolutely love our Prosecco. Absolutely lovely. Don't get me started on that. I've had a bit too much of that during the last month in Italy. A big up Dabis. Batiste want loan Anthony with no obligation to buy, and Anthony doing blunders by only wanting Batiste. Then Batiste can just get lost. Batiste can go and whatever do themselves. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I don't care what Batiste want. If you want him, pay him. If Anthony don't want to act professional, Anthony should be playing in the reserves. That is exactly what should be happening. If Anthony doesn't want to play professional, go and do your Spinneroonies in the reserves. Because at the end of the day, look, you know what? There is hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of teams in Europe. You know, we should not be dictated about where you want to go. You want to leave this football club, you don't want to play for Manchester United anymore, then go pick a football club. Don't just pick one who can't even afford you, who won't even spend money on you. It's the whole Sancho situation all over again, isn't it? When Dortmund stated how much they love Sancho, how Sancho's like family, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to spending a little bit of money, like they're acting like a long-lost mother and father. They made him bloody an orphan. That's what they did. Absolutely mad, isn't it? Rasta Stotts, pick up my favorite friend. Hope you're doing well. Hope it is well with you and the family, mate. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're good. Yeah, he was right. Absolutely, Rasta. He was right. I agree with that. I agree 100%, mate. I'm sure if Sesko decides to join Newcastle, we would know about it already. I think so as well, mate. I do. They have already had an offer and they have done everything, but the player is still undecided. That tells me he's ready to join us. I think so. Obviously, these things take time, isn't it, Tyborg? And obviously, he's going to make the right decision, what is best for him and his family. It's a big move for Sesko. He's 22 years old, going on 23. So at the end of the day, this is probably his biggest move in his career. It's going to make or break him. Forgive him for taking time. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. But I do think Man United will get over the door. Big up the Kenya family. What's going on again, John? How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Really good to see you. Thank you for joining Stretford Post, my guy. Hope everything is blessed with you and having a great evening wherever in Kenya. Big up Kenya family. Lots of Kenya supporters of Stretford Post. Much love to them, of course, all day long. Chris, what's going on, my friend? How you doing? Evening, Sal. Lying in bed and an inner sanctum suite at the Hotel Gotham, Manchester, for my missus' birthday. Big up. Happy birthday to your missus, Chris. Watching Stretford Post before mooching to a Deansgate for dinner. Big up, Chris. I love Deansgate, mate. Absolutely love Manchester. I miss going there. I'm in the UAE at the moment. Haven't been for a while, but absolutely love Manchester. I miss those days. I miss the little things. I miss trying to book a hotel and Champions League nights, coming up from London and trying to book a hotel and Champions League nights, walking from Manchester Piccadilly all the way to Old Trafford, even though it was a risk, walking back after the game to Manchester Piccadilly. I mean, I miss all those times, mate. When you say Deansgate, just ring some bells, guys. Absolutely, Charlton Street and all that. But yeah, absolutely. Big up. Happy birthday to your missus, my friend Chris, and have a great time. Enjoy it, mate. Absolutely. Rasta. I remember when Ronaldo missed a goal, Roy Keane went up to his face and told him about himself, and the next opportunity he got, he buried it. Exactly, Rasta. Captaincy. It's not about he's being cruel. It's not about that. He's saying, he's basically saying, I believe in you. I believe in you. He's basically, that is what Roy Keane would do. Roy Keane would influence you, would make you angry to put the ball in the back of the net, and that's what he done. I remember that time because Ronaldo tried to be smart and cute with his finish, didn't he? When Roy Keane just said, just bloody hit it in the goal. And it's what made Ronaldo. I mean, these are kind of things that made Ronaldo. Do you know what I mean? It made Ronaldo become what he became at the end of the day. These small little details there. Absolutely. Chris, I'm an honest fan. Finally, all those they said that keep Bruno are to blame. We could have good money, but bought a new team. Yeah, mate. Absolutely. I said it from the beginning, mate. I've been saying it from day one. I feel like we get too attached to certain players where there's too much player FC, which I think is poison in the Manchester United fan base. They'll use every excuse under the sun, bring out every narrative to suit their narrative to back him. Now, look, he's been a good servant, but we need to know, just like Real Madrid, right? What do Real Madrid do? They know when to let go of players. Look at Varane, look at Casemiro. People would have thought that they're mad getting rid of them, but look what happened. We need to know when to let players go. We need to know when to let players go. And Bruno would have went, if Manchester United went up to Bruno and said, look, Bruno, it was over 100 million. We got 100+ million for you from Saudi Arabia. We want to accept the offer. Would you be interested in going to Saudi Arabia? We need the money. If they needed the money, we want to build this football team. He would have went. But it's the Manchester United who said, oh, you know what? We don't need to sell him. So I don't want to be hearing anything that we got no money. Because they're the ones who rejected 100 million at the end of the day, isn't it? Absolutely. Kaya, good afternoon. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Bruno should have been sold. With that 100 million, we could have done wonders. We could have bought a striker, a midfielder, a goalkeeper, the whole shebang. Absolutely, Carl. Absolutely. Big up, Kaya, my friend. Hope you're well. Of course, hope you're well. Bill tweeted at RB Lebs, it want 8 million. Yeah, want 80 million. Yes, they do. 8 million euros, guys, which is about 60 odd million, which is about the price. The Gunners are the real test. I expect a victory. No excuses from these players. They embarrassed us by giving Spurs a trophy. Exactly, Rasta. Not forgiven. Some people are too forgiving. Too forgiving. Jacob, Man United will now show they have true colours now that Mbeumo is at the club, but we need to sell Højlund and Xerxes and Casemiro. Omer will see Mbeumo as star player and get the golden boot. Big up, my friend Jacob. Brian, Omar Barada must be watching United play under Fergie if he thinks we're ready. My goodness me. Absolutely. The 80 million won't be an issue. Man United just needs to know if Sesko wants to Man United own it. Exactly, because Man United don't want to be going through the mess, and he ends up rejecting Man United. Of course, they don't want to be going through that. Big up Tyrell Gunner TV. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're blessed. Of course, good to see you, my friend. Tyborg, no pride in wearing the shirt these days. I know it's different times, but yeah, I know, mate. Too rich, too soon. Spoiled little petulant brats. That's what it is at the end of the day, isn't it? It's just not the same anymore, isn't it? What we used to see, is it, guys? I hate to sound like that, guys. Absolutely. Guys, thank you everyone who's joined me today. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and please don't forget to smash a like on the video as well, guys. Also, don't forget to put your notifications on as well. When I go live, you guys will know about it as well. Let me just scroll down here, see if I missed something. 1 second. Yeah, thank you guys, you're absolute legends. I'm Sal Warner. This is Chatterbox. I will be back tomorrow for Breaking Dawn if nothing else breaks, of course. Miraculously, things do happen sometimes. But you never know, guys. But I will be back here tomorrow morning for the latest and greatest news, of course. Guys, thank you so much for your support, guys, and big up the community. Please don't forget to smash a like on the way out. Should have a lot of likes, guys. Come on, we should have 100 likes. Come on, man. Let's get the likes up, and let's get those views up, and let's get the notifications and subscriptions going on, guys. Take it easy. Have a good evening, guys. And wherever you are in the world, much love to you. Take it easy, please. Boy.